Ouch.
Are you serious?
That hurt.
It's time. We're live, so let's get on our minds here. City Manager, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm call this meeting to order, a special workshop of the City Council.
Item number 1, discussion regarding increase for hotel motel tax rate. I'd like to yield my time, as I've been here for 2 days. Would like to yield my time over to Ms. Wanda for a briefing from staff.
Thank you, City Manager. Okay, I just want to kind of give you, I got all smiles. I'm so glad she's here. I just want to give you a little history on the hotel motel tax. Back in March 1982 is when we first took it to the voters. We did a 2% increase, or 2% tax. That was when it was created. It was spent like it is being spent now. 2/3 of the proceeds went to promotion of tourism, and 1/3 has gone to the parks for maintenance, care, and development of city parks. Then in 1998, we asked the voters to increase it from 2% to 4%, and still with the same purpose. 2/3 going to promote tourism, and 1/3 going to the parks for maintenance, care, and development. We did add in that where the city of Guthrie was able to keep 5% of the tax collected to be used to the city to defraud administrative cost. That was the only thing that was added to the ballot from the 1982. It passed, the proposition passed 434 and 125 against. So it did pass pretty good. Now the staff is proposing to increase it from 4% to 8%. And still basically the same language as what staff is proposing. That 2/3 go for the promotion of tourism, and 1/3 be used for the maintenance, care, and development of city parks. Now, staff is needing to get some information from council, and that would be, do we want to increase the tax? And if we do, at what rate? 2, 3, or 4%? And when do you want to hold the election? And do we want to change the ballot in any way? The ordinance that has been provided to you is the draft, and basically it is the same as the one that was proposed in 1998. It has the 5% to administrative costs to the city. I also provided you with the forms that are submitted or remitted to the owners of Hotel Motel Bed and Breakfast. They submit it quarterly. And I think that's about all I have.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
When you said the money goes to the Parks Department also, will that be only the Parks Department's decision on how to spend that money? Nobody else, just the Parks Board?
No, you as council decide on how that money is going to be spent through the budget process.
So the Parks Board doesn't make that decision?
Park Board makes a recommendation to City Council.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And if you have any more questions, Cody has additional information.
Good evening. I'm Cody Mosley, Director of Economic Development and Marketing for the City of Guthrie, and tonight I just want to talk about what this increase would be geared towards. We're looking at this increase, and just as Council knows, and just to make public information, again, this is not a direct tax on our citizens. It only impacts people staying in hotels, motels, or bed and breakfast around the city. Once again, let me say that. It is not a direct tax on our citizens. The 4 to 8%, it will not be a direct tax on our citizens. It will only impact the people who are staying in our hotels, motels, and bed and breakfast. As Wanda iterated earlier, it is a split between the CVB, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and the Parks Department for the city, with 1/3 going to our Parks Department. Maxine Pruitt, that represents the parks, is actually in her forestry board meeting tonight. And so I'll just kind of reiterate to council what was in the last workshop when we talked about this, is some of the ideas that they could use for the improvement or for the increase. Equipment, of course, the Parks Department could use equipment as far as lawn mowers, such things like that, just to keep maintenance and, keeping cosmetics around the city looking fantastic, and make sure that we, are representing ourselves well to tourists and our own citizens, and making sure that the quality of life aspect right there is being taken care of. This could potentially be used for ideas such as walking trails or bike trails, and also improvements to the skateboard park and other park updates that the city has. And so this 1/3 increase would essentially go to improving what we have and possibly us looking into developing something for the future as well. And also, part of our strategic plan is talking about development of Liberty Lake. Part of this money could be used towards that as well. And so you'll actually note that 3 performance targets in our strategic plan could be impacted with this, and it is develop the plan for Liberty Lake, work to promote a positive image for the city of Guthrie and the Guthrie community, and then promote tourism and implement programs to support and sustain growth of local businesses. And so those are the 3 that I feel are directly impacted through this increase. And with that, I will turn it over to the other 2 ladies that will be here to talk about the CVB and how the CVB will benefit from this increase. Thank you.
Thank you, Cody.
Thanks, Cody. Mayor, City Council, City Manager, and guests. I'm Mary Coffin. I'm the manager of the Convention and Visitors Bureau and the Chamber of Commerce. Small communities usually have one entity that does both things. We do have a board of directors, which we've got several board of directors here with us tonight. Thank you all for joining us and being with us. Everybody has a packet in front of them, and I hope you guys haven't filtered through too much and have gotten all the pages out of order, because I want to start the very first page, and we're just going to go consecutively in how it was all set up in the packet. Ready? Yes, HC. No, right, and you won't get one. Just listen. Y'all can ask questions afterwards if that's okay with you all. It's up to the council. I'm sure we're going to have some questions, but Randall, I don't know if that's okay.
You're fine.
Okay. All right. Our first page, lodging tax. We have, for the state of Oklahoma, all the information and who pays what and how much their percentage rate is for their lodging tax, okay? We have Enid, Muskogee, Ponca City, and Woodward. Well, actually, they're all 8%, but I want you to look at the bottom half of the page. It says funding sources, entity, and percentages, and then the next page. It's crucial for you to look at these 2 entities and compare them to the front, because when you look at the back and say, okay, Broken Arrow, their hotel motel tax is 4%, and they get 100% of that 4%, okay? Claremore, same thing, 5%, but they get 99%. We get 2/3 of our tax, okay? So you need to understand the impact on us we're comparing to other cities in Oklahoma. The perfect example, Lawton, they're at 5%. They get 100% up to a contracted $780,000 that the city has with them. That's how much they get. So it's different. Every place is going to be different. It just is what works best for who. So that's item number 1 in your packet. If you're ready to move on, we'll go to the next. I don't want to go too fast, but I don't want to go.
Can I just point out one
Yes.
thing, because they don't have a copy?
Yes.
Also, at the same time, there are cities that say 40/60, Duncan is, the CVB gets 50%, Guthrie 2/3, Midwest City only 30%. So I just want to point that out, that it is all over the board.
It's all over the place, right. Yeah, there's anywhere from, I think Bartlesville's the lowest 28%, plus 12% for economic development with include CVB is what it's on here. So they're all different.
Right.
And it's just up to the towns and how they want to do it. Okay, the next two pieces of information, these are our expenditures. And what I did was I pulled January through December of 2011, and I pulled January through October of 2012 to show you exactly what we spent last year and exactly what we've spent this year. And it has it broken down into columns and how much we spent in those columns. Last year, and just to tell you how we feel our marketing and everything that we're doing and have done at the chamber or at the CVB is we have different things that we can do to market ourselves. And we feel like that our marketing efforts have shown enough and are doing well, because at our third quarter, we are already surpassed where we were last year at this time. So the money that's came in to the city and to the CVB has already surpassed what we did last year at this time. That means for the whole year. So in my opinion, we're doing something right. We're marketing, we're getting people in the hotels, we're doing what we're supposed to do as an entity to bring people to Guthrie. The proof is in the math. The math's right here in front of you, okay? For the year, we will probably be at least $26,000 to $30,000 over what we did last year in our hotel motel funds, okay? We do, and I've put some stuff up here in front for you guys to look at, just a little bit of our advertising, but we have certain things we do every month. We have a certified folder which goes out to every tourism destination in Oklahoma, and we have cards that go in those racks all over the state of Oklahoma. We go into some parts of Texas. We go into some parts of Kansas City with those certified folders. And that's what you'll see, certified folders. On billboards, we have a permanent billboard that's on I-35 at the Stillwater exit. And we also have 2 billboards at the Lazy E. We're in contract with the Lazy E. We support them and help them and our sponsor because they bring a lot of people to town. And so we also contract with them doing those 2 billboards out there. And that's what you'll see under billboards. Frontier Country is a marketing firm that they co-op with towns to get a really good rate in TV, advertise, any kind of advertising you could think of, print, paper. And what we do is we are a member of the Frontier Country, and so we go to their meetings. They have an annual deal where they present their 2013 marketing plan, and then we can look at that marketing plan and go, okay, I've got X amount of dollars. This is where I want to advertise. This year, for example, we are on the Oklahoma Tourism Department's front page website every month. We have a tile ad there, and every month Guthrie's going to be on the page of the Oklahoma Tourism Departments. They can click on that. It's going to go right to whatever website we want it to go to. We promote all of our festivals through that. We promote anything that's happening in town. This month we've got the Art Walk on it. Next month in November, we're going to have Christmas, and we'll have more Christmas coming up. But just for example, that's one thing that we do. We are also on inside covers of multiple things, and we do big. We'll do the whole cover. We'll do the whole inside when you open something up. I quit messing around. I don't just do a little ad in something. I want Guthrie to have a presence out there. I want people to know where we are, and the board feels the same way. We go big or we don't do it. And so we are on the inside cover of multiple things that the tourism department distributes on a yearly basis. The Destination Guthrie is a piece that it's all about Guthrie. It has every retail business in Guthrie on it, not only in the downtown, but also Walmart, Walgreens. It has everybody in this map. They might have a picture of the downtown because people come into the downtown, but we also have information about every other place in town too on this map. We probably produce about at least 40,000 of these a year that we have that go out to the businesses, and we go through all of them in a year's time. So we've got print costs with that. We've got graphic design costs with that. We also do a calendar rack card, and that's another thing that, printing, we do 20,000 of those, I believe. We've already got 2013 rack cards here. We had them a month ago. We're not into 2013 yet, but we're aggressive, and we want everybody to know when our dates are, when they're come to Guthrie this summer. We want them to come back next year. We're going to give them a 2013 card and tell them to come back. So that's basically the Destination Guthrie charges, and the graphic design kind of is part of that. We do some business with a news leader. There's a lot of things locally that we need to do to tell our local citizens about, and we do it through the news leader, so there's a budget line for them. The OTRD is the Oklahoma Tourism Recreation Department. This is when somebody calls the Oklahoma Travel Department and they ask them for information about Guthrie, they send them information. They will email, but they will mail out our Destination Guthrie. It's got a name to put their address on it, and they give us a special rate, but they take care of all the inquiries that pull into the state, phone calls, and so we have a contract with them on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, and we spend probably, it just depends on how many, maybe $200 a month with them, but we don't have to directly do that. I get some on email every day. I get somebody wanting something, but that's a literature request that comes in through our website into the office. Postage and mailings, we get tons of people calling, hey, I want a phone book. Hey, I want information on Guthrie. We got schools. We have all sorts of tourist destination-minded people that want information, and they asked us to send it to them, so that's what we do. Let's see, promotion. There's different things that we do to promote. I've got Lions Club, American Legion. We help out with, we actually fed the News 9 crew. We do some stuff with the 89ers, doing buttons on promoting Guthrie. And then we have, as part of the contract that y'all will see, which we'll go, it's at the very end, there is a contract. 2/3 of that contract covers our phones because, we're always on the phone at the chamber. We're always answering questions. So that part is taken care of. 2/3 of it comes out of the phone bill. That's why that phone bill's on that, okay? And then I've got other advertising on here, and it's miscellaneous things like if the festivals, I usually give each festival $1,000 in advertising. They tell me what they want to advertise in, we set it up, and I make sure that we advertise for all of our festivals. I feel like we need to support our festivals. It's important. Some of these guys don't have the money to support, and some of them do. So I have some of them that say, no, just keep your money, do it for something else, but almost all the big ones, we need to help, we need to support, and we do anyway. We do it on a monthly basis anyway. We have press releases that go out every month for anything that's going on in town. They go to all the radio stations. All of our events are logged into all the web calendars. We probably have at least 50 people that we send out information to media-wise to talk about all of our promotions and things we're doing in town. Media buy, we do sometimes, we've got a couple of commercials that we've put together that we bought. That's in some of this stuff. That's in the media buy and media production. And then I'm looking at 2011 too. So we did a Guthrie Day at the Capitol. That cost us some money. We bought food. We basically took our people, we took our information, we went to the Capitol, and we fed everybody that walked up and said, hey, come to Guthrie, here's our information, this is what you can get. So and I think that's the first time that I've been here 4 years, we've done it once. So, we'll try everything to see how it works. Let's see, we do have expenses for our Christmas committee, which it brings in tourists. And then we also do conferences, conventions, travels, meetings. We go, if you look on the, let's see, Actually, in your packet, you've got Oklahoma Tourism Recreation Department right here. These are the road shows that we go to. This is from the Oklahoma Tourism Department. And what they do is they go to the Red Hat Society, AARP, the Dallas Travel Show, McAllen International Travel Show. We've gone all the way down to McAllen. Fort Worth, they have a home show. We go to Wichita Women's Fair every year in Kansas City. They also have a boat expo for the men, and they do have the women's there. So we participate in a lot of these road shows, and if there is a road show in Oklahoma, they know that we're going. I mean, they automatically know. They send me an email. They send out emails to everybody. The first 20 people who sign up, they know. I've talked to them. We've gone to so many shows that they know we're a partner with them. They expect Guthrie to be a partner with them. And with all the people who do partner for the Oklahoma Tourism Department, it's pretty impressive when you get everybody in a room, or you get everybody in a, we went to Blue Cross Blue Shield 2 times in Tulsa. We went to Devon, Farmers. So anything like that. In fact, we're going to go to Tinker next month. So these are places that we can go to pull in people from Oklahoma to come to Guthrie, because half the people we talk to, and we give out probably, depends on where we are, but anywhere from 500 to 1,000 pieces of literature at every show. And people look at us and go, either they've heard of Guthrie and they're going to say, oh yeah, I've eaten here, or I've gone to a Pollard show, or they're going to go, I don't even know where that is. So, you know, that's why we're there. We're there to help them and encourage them to come to Guthrie, check us out. And with a lot of the bed and breakfast, they've given us discounts. Last time we were there, they had coupons and 20% discount on any of the bed and breakfasts in town. And, you know, hopefully they're bringing them back and renewing them, and they're filling up the hotels with those coupons that we're able to give them. Okay, let's go. I've given you some information about the Frontier Country. This is a promotional thing, and this is actually what our board sees, okay? Our board gets this whole deal, and we decide what we're going to do every year through this. I've told you about the tile ad. We're actually promoting Guthrie in the Tulsa on Cox, in Oklahoma City on Cox, 3 months out of this year for our 2013 package. We'll also be promoting it in March. But I picked the months right before we've got a festival. So all in November, we've got a really great Christmas commercial that's going to be in Oklahoma City. It's going to air on Lifetime, National Geographic, and History Channel. Is that right? Okay. We have 3 channels. And we're doing September, November, and March in that. And then the inside covers of the Frontier Country. I'll put some stuff out in front of you. We also have a military thing that's right in front of Patty there that we've spent some money on. And then we've got a couple of road shows that are also in this. So this basically tells you all what our advertising we've done. And this will go through July of 2013. And then again in July, we look again about what we want to do next year. So I also have some information right here. It's just printed out. We give a quarterly report. Lucy gives a quarterly report. And this is a breakdown of basically everything that's in this package, what we told you, because we give it to the mayor and Wanda, and they have copies of everything that we do on a quarterly basis. Advertising rates, there's so many different things that we could show you on how expensive it is to market to somebody. Lucy pulled up advertising rate for, what is this for, Lucy? Oklahoma Today. And, their inside front cover is $7,000. You want to do a little ad, you can pay, you can pay $2,000. But we just want you to know it's expensive to advertise in any kind of print media, no matter who you go through. Lucy, you want to come up here and let's... Oh, yeah. American Bus Association we're also a member of that. And this year we're scheduled to go to South Carolina, to Charlotte, North Carolina? Where's that? Charlotte. North or south? North? Okay. We're going to Charlotte. They have a big marketplace convention there for all the buses in the country. And so we're scheduled to go. I'm a delegate there, and I am scheduled to, I ask to talk to people so that when I go, I will have a 5-minute time limit. It's like speed dating. You know, I have 5 minutes to go in front of somebody. I give them a piece of paper that we've already got ready. It's one piece of paper that goes in a folder for them, and I have to sell Guthrie to them in 5 minutes. And so that's how all these tourism guys get all their bus tours. Since we've gone to the shows, I'm going, okay, how do you guys get the bus tours here? And they said, Mary, you got to go do this, and we'll help you. And so, you know, these guys have been really awesome about saying, okay, here's what you need to do. We'll help you do it. We'll show you. And they've given me examples of everything they've done. And so, for example, the Western Museum, I've got a real good friend that I know that works there in the tourism department. So he's going to go and he's going to take me with him wherever he goes. And he knows everybody there. He's been going there for 15 years. And he's going to say, hey, I've got I just want you to meet Mary. And, you know, when you come to Oklahoma City for a tour, you need to do a day trip to Guthrie. So we're trying to get into the buses and get the buses back. But it's more of we have to have a relationship with them. And so we have to go to these meetings, do this. And it's expensive. It's almost $1,500 just to be a member of the American Bus Association. What else? Okay, we've got a couple more things. I'm going to let Lucy talk. I'm getting cotton mouth.
Well, since you guys don't have anything to look at, I'll pass that around. That's just an example of the Oklahoma Today magazine, and the rate schedule that Mary was referring to earlier is in there as well, and you can see that that's the latest one that they have. We don't have an ad in that, and we couldn't figure out why, but we should have had an ad.
We have one. It's up there.
We have, but yeah, we have one coming out in the next issue. But every little podunk town in Oklahoma just about has a Christmas ad in there. There's a lot of competition for our tourism dollars. There's a lot of competition for everyone's attention, and because of that, we really need to get on the stick. We really need to get ahead of the curve. Guthrie is really poised at this point to burst at the seams. We're ready to really grow as far as not size-wise, but we're really ready to grow as far as our influence goes, as far as our venues go, our events go. There are people that are taking notice from all over the country and actually all over the world. We have people coming into the chamber office from all over the world, literally every month. And we're excited about that. And they hear about that because we don't advertise? Is that why they hear about that? I don't think that's why they hear about that. They hear about that because we're putting the word out there, because people come to Guthrie, because they love it when they come here, because the people are genuine and friendly, because we have things for them to do while they're here, because we have events scheduled year-round that are exciting and attractive to people. And with all of that, international attention and national attention and Oklahoma attention, we are getting some offers. One thing that we were approached by Kim McCoy from the Oklahoma Arts Council in April. They're developing a little project that is going to fund, it's kind of a incubator project that they're doing, that's going to fund some growth, entertainment and arts, mostly arts, district growth in small towns like ours that already have an infrastructure, that already have a lot of really cool things going, and they want to give us $5,000 a year for 5 years. Well, I think that's a nifty idea, don't you? Well, but they have a few prerequisites. This is this page that I marked all over. They have 3 prerequisites. One is the formation of a nonprofit arts community development organization suitable for the management and administration of an arts and cultural district in Guthrie. We have an Arts and Humanities Council in Guthrie, but we need to have a 501c3 formed so that it can receive grants and foundation gifts. So we're working on that actually through the Christmas Committee. The Christmas Committee is working on an umbrella 501c3 organization that'll be able to kind of gather up all of our events. What was the name of that, James? Guthrie Events Council or something like that. Great idea. I think it's going to work out. We need to get with some attorneys and make sure, Sherry. And the reason that she wants us to do that is she says, it's my understanding that the formation of a nonprofit charitable foundation is in the works through which administration might take place. So we need somebody, some entity in town that's going to be able to really guide the funds that are going to be coming in because of all of our efforts. The city would be the applicant for any request, and the name of the program is Designate My District program. So it's kind of cool because we have some people in town that are already designating some districts. We have some people that have designated a entertainment district in Guthrie. We're working on an arts district. We're working on a shopping district. We have several things in the works that it's kind of like these things are coming to us in the process of what we're doing anyway. It's a really fun, cool thing. The second thing that they insist that we have in place before we can qualify for these funds is community education and some research must be accomplished in consideration of a possible increase of the hotel motel tax from 4% to 8 or 9%. Well, it just so happened that we said, gee, we'd love to do that too. And it was something that we'd had conversations about before often and wondered when the right time was going to be. And apparently the right time is now. Also, they wanted a community research to be underway to investigate the possibility of forming a business improvement district in the core area of downtown Guthrie. All three factors are related to the need to market the core district of downtown Guthrie as a collective rather than as divided groups, so as to achieve the maximum impact. A district brand and logo should be developed for the purposes of promotion. So these are all things that the CVB is intimately involved in with other entities that are in the state and locally, so that we can grow Guthrie, so that Guthrie can be out there and bigger and better and more wonderful even than they are right now. As I said, Guthrie is poised, I think, to really make a leap forward as far as just like a second renaissance. You know, in the 70s and 80s, we really had a big, whoo, we are cool, we are the Williamsburg of the West, and everybody really felt that way in town. Since then, it's kind of died down a little bit. Some of our city fathers are moving on, and we're sad about that. But there are young people that are coming up. James Long, Chris Evans. You know, we've got people in town that are ready and willing to take up that mantle and move on and help Guthrie to grow and improve even more. The Hotel Motel Tax has remained nearly unchanged since its inception, and that was 30 years ago. And we are going to have more and more funding. As Mary said, we've already spent as much in 3 quarters of this year as we had to spend in all 4 quarters last year. That isn't because we're out there, we have money in our bank account or we have a check in our checkbook, so we think we better write a check for it. That's because we're finding more and more and more opportunities to really impact the nation, the state, the world for Guthrie. And that gets more and more expensive. You know, we had just this week a woman called me from Florida. She's with AAA Tours. She said, well, you know, we were going to bring a tour out to Oklahoma City, but somebody in Oklahoma City said, well, you need to go to Guthrie. And I said, well, yes, you do. And she said, well, tell me what you have. So I spent the next hour telling her what we have and how wonderful it is. And she said, well, we definitely need to come. I think because because I told her all the cool things that we have here, she said, I think I'm going to just go ahead and plan a trip myself in the next month or so and just come out there and check it out. And maybe we'll change our whole route. You know, maybe we'll change our whole whole plan. I was like, yes, you should do that. Please do that. So she's coming to Guthrie to see what all we have to offer, and that's exciting to me. But we are not going to be able to reach those people, and we're not going to be able to serve those people that come in if we don't have the funding to implement plans that we need to implement to keep things going. I was thinking in my sleep last night, and the hotel motel tax increase would do two main things. One is that it would create the possibility to enhance our potential for promoting Guthrie. You know, if we don't have more funding, we're kind of right here. This is where we're going to be. This is where we're going to stay. And people will hear about us, and maybe they'll drive through. A guy told Mary yesterday, I think, that he'd been stuck in the sandstorm up there, and he had to divert. And so he looked at the map and said, well, we'll go there, and ended up in Guthrie, and now he thinks maybe he ought to buy a house here because it's just a cool place to be. But no matter how they get here, when they get here, they have to find something exciting to do when they get here and have Guthrie not falling apart, not being an old has-been town. It needs to be the town that it was born to be, you know, overnight. And the second thing, it is that the hotel motel tax allows for improvements in our existing circumstances, which I sort of touched on just then. Our existing circumstances are great, but you know, as with any old building or old clothes or old car, if you don't maintain it, if you don't take care of it, if you don't stroke it and make it happy that it's there with you, then it's going to fall apart. It's not going to be there much longer. So we really, really, really need to use what we have in the best way that we can. I know I'm talking way too much here, but I did want to say that predictably, some of our lodging partners are concerned about the impact that this potential increase could have on their business. That's understandable, completely understandable. But I have to say that the answer to your question is your prosperity. You'll increase in prosperity. And the reason is the more the CVB can do, the more visitors will come to Guthrie, the more dollars for the retailers, the more tax revenue for the city, and the more improvements for Guthrie. The more people that come in, the more people you'll have to fill your rooms. It's a win-win. It can't be a bad thing. So to send myself over to the table and be quiet for a while, are there any questions about anything I've gone on and on and on about? No.
Good, great presentation.
Yes, ma'am? I'm sorry.
Can they ask questions?
Should they?
Yes, Mayor and City Council, is that your desire?
Come to the podium.
Come to the podium, give their name and address, and direct the question to the
I
council.
need to ask that.
Yeah, you can ask questions too.
This is just a real simple question for you. My name is Elizabeth Hurd, and you had stated that my district, they required 3 things, and I wrote down 2 of them, but I couldn't figure out what the third one was.
Okay.
Because we started talking, and I couldn't figure out whether a third one started or
Yeah, bid district.
implementing the what?
A bid district is a business that we improvement district.
And that was the third thing? Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
My name is H.C. Patel, and I'm from the Sleeping in Suites here in Guthrie. I don't know if you know, right now, the motels are charging 12.5% tax rate for their room charge. So this would put it up to 16.5%. To me, that's considerable, charging the customer. And the local or the county or even the city might, in 6 months or a year, decide to increase it by another 0.5% or 1%. So what would our tax rate be on staying at a motel?
Can I ask you a
Sure.
question? When was the last time the tax was increased?
I really don't know. I've just been here for 2 months.
Okay, I just
Okay.
wanted to know how it affected your business the
I
last time
really
it was increased, if it did or did
I'm
not.
fairly new here in this city.
1998.
All right. Thank you.
Is there any questions from the board? Being a motel owner, if you have any questions for me?
And other places that you've run hotel?
Not that high.
What did,
To a bigger city, I could understand, but it's if they have a convention center or some sort of entertainment facility, they have to, which have sponsored through the tax. And I guess my other question is this a permanent tax, or does it expire within a year, 2 years? Is there anything set in motion for that? Once
Permanent.
it meets a limit?
It's permanent unless it's rescinded by the voters.
And I guess I'm looking at the aspect, it's bringing business for all businesses in Guthrie. Is there another revenue stream from other businesses which could compensate for some of this occupancy tax instead of 4%, a 1% increase or a 2% increase?
Mary, could you tell us how the tax rate, the 12.5% compares to other cities, not just our piece, but the total tax at hotels in other cities?
Well, the hotel motel tax is actually in addition to the town's
Sales tax.
sales
Sales
tax.
tax.
And the county?
Yes, it's added on
Oh,
to,
that's
like,
where
we're 8.25. It would be another 4%.
That's where we got that from, okay.
Right,
Just
yes,
want to understand.
absolutely. Yeah.
I'm sorry, the
They've
breakup.
always been like that.
The breakup is the state has 4.5%, Logan County has 3%? City's got 3, I'm sorry, Logan County has 1%, and, sorry. And the occupancy tax right now is 4%.
12.5.
Do you all have what is there, about 16 bed and breakfasts in town altogether here in Guthrie? What was the feedback from all 11?
I think
Well, this is the first I'm hearing about it, tell you the
Well, I
truth.
just wondered if the organization had met as one whole and had decided how they felt about it.
This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Oh,
today.
I see, I see.
Gary, you want to talk? Yeah, I'll come up next. They'll come up.
This is new to me,
Okay.
sort of blindsided.
Well, I appreciate you coming up here tonight.
And if you have any questions, please feel free to call me at the sleep-in. Be most happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Right now, I'm looking at investing, improving my property for about $500,000. And at the end of it, I would like to increase my rate, at least by anywhere from 5 to 10%, which I might not be able to do because if I'm increasing the sales tax, it's going to be a very big burden on the customer.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Gary?
Hi, I'm Gary Good, 323 West Cleveland. I am the president of the Bed and Breakfast Association in Guthrie, and we have currently 9 B&Bs in Guthrie. When I got to town, I think there were 15 or 16. And the business has had a dip over the last year and a half. Is that about right? And they're struggling right now and trying to attract more business. And we've had meetings and talked. And first, let me say, we support the city of Guthrie and the tourism and the chamber, and most of us are members. I have 3 memberships, and so I applaud all the hard work that they do to bring business to Guthrie. And the fact that we have kind of a building interest in our area is wonderful. But what I kind of see the possibility of is throwing a big bucket of water or ice on a fire that's being built in Guthrie right now by putting all of this on the hotels, motels, and B&Bs. It'd be real easy for that 9 B&Bs to go down to 5 because several of the B&Bs could easily be turned into apartments. Mine could, and I know several of the others could as well. So we have the distinction of being several things in Guthrie. One is the bed and breakfast capital of Oklahoma, and it'd be kind of hard to do that with just a handful of B&Bs. So we talked at our meeting about how can we help, how can we support the Pollard. We can't lose the Pollard. There's a lot of things that really need to be done in the city. One of the things was, and I don't know what the tax would be called, but it's some kind of an entertainment tax that would be, when you go to a restaurant for a meal, there's, let's just say, a 1% tax across the board. And then this money could be taken and spent in ways that are necessary to do what we need to do as a city. So I'm speaking for the Bed and Breakfast Association, but also for myself as a businessman in Guthrie, because I want us to grow, but I'm not so sure this is appropriate. Thanks.
Mr. Good, I got one quick question. Does your organization feel like that they could live with a small increase if they couldn't live with a large increase, possibly? And with another idea of like what you just said, that we combined it like that and come out with maybe a 3% tax? I mean, increase together?
Read my lips.
No, I understand what you're saying. But if we're going to grow Guthrie and we're really going to advertise it and bring the people in, you got to spend money to get people here.
I understand.
But what I'm saying is, could you live with a small one?
I can't really speak for the B&B Association and, as a group with that question, but 4%, if it were 5%, I don't know that there'd be a whole lot of issue, but bumping up from 4 to 8, doubling the tax, that's, I don't know.
I'd like to know what your organization feels like that they could all live with. I don't want to hurt anybody either.
Basically, we're trying to live, and I think if we go from 9 B&Bs down to 6, which could happen real quick,
we don't want to do
then we lose the distinction of having a bed and breakfast community.
When's your next meeting for all of you?
We just had one, and I can't remember the date at this point, but I'm not sure. Of course.
Was there any consensus of what you could live with? That's what I'm trying to get at. What is it that you could live with?
I really don't have the answer to that. Certainly, if it were a small increase, it would be something that nobody likes to pay more taxes and have to charge people that you're hoping to sell a room to.
I understand.
And everybody has expenses going up. So all I can say is it would be nice if we could have a discussion on how to get where we need to be without hitting one industry in town. Realize that the people paying this tax are not citizens of Guthrie in most cases. Right. However, we do have to sell the rooms, and you can look at, I mean, I'm one of the newest ones, and you can look at how many room nights we've had, and it's been a struggle. And to throw this out now, while a lot of the B&Bs are just trying to survive, may not be a really smooth move for the city.
Well, we appreciate your idea. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary. Yes, sir, if you'll approach.
All right.
I don't like doing this. Council, a year ago, to begin with, me and my daughter looked, and I'm happy to give you all our financials for the last 10 years. Very happy if we look them over and see what we do at the hotel, and the expenses are real. It's a tough business. It's a very tough business. We've lost one that went to bankruptcy, and HC has taken over. I know what he's going through. I mean, y'all are in business. We're counting every room every night. But anyway, a year ago, we decided that I could do more for Guthrie, for myself, for my kids, if we just put our effort into the businesses we had. I mean, you know, my family, we had purchased a lot of items and done a lot of things. So we chose to really delve into the hotel business and go out and get the business. And the one thing we felt right off that it wasn't against us was that our tax was not more than the surrounding area. Once you get, and I think you're right as far as all over the state, but if you look at our area, it's 4% in every competitor we have, unless somebody knows something different. That's what affects us. We've got oil crews and all the oil service businesses that we've gone out, and really that's what you saw. That's why we've already taken in as much. I say that. You all know the economy hit in '08. I mean, that's no secret to anybody. That's why we watched the debate last night, right? It wasn't our fault. And what's coming back in the last year or two is not necessarily our fault either. It's just happening because it's finally coming back. But if you put a burden on us of 1% even, to where I pay 5% rather than 4% in Edmond, Perry, Stillwater, Cushing just built a new Best Western. I can't pay my employee that 1%. Now, I don't know how long it would take for that 1% to generate back with tourism. We did probably more than anybody in town for the Bluegrass Festival. We carried their rooms at a very low rate. Did y'all help the Bluegrass Festival? Good. So I've read a lot of articles lately. I'm just not getting up to speed on it. And as you're same as I am, we're business oriented, but yet we have to be civic minded. Motels can do the best to get their own occupancy. Now, I agree there's a certain level for this hotel motel tax. If nothing else, the towns around us and to help defray the cost of what there is. But after that, if we go higher than the surrounding area, I feel it's a direct burden for us. I don't know the answer. How high can we go? I mean, if it's good, why not go higher? Can we go to 20%? I mean, if I'm going to go broke, guys, I'd rather do it this year and not over 10 years, okay?
That's a rhetorical question, I think. Why is she looking for an answer?
I could go 200%. Be ready.
It's a rhetorical question. Yeah.
Thanks. So how high can we go legally? We can go to 20%?
I think it's unlimited.
I honestly don't know, probably could, but I don't see anybody doing that.
I recommend it. Put me out of my misery.
Any other questions? Yes, sir. If you'll approach. Thank you.
Gary, if you tell me you got a motel, buddy, you're retired.
I was chairman of the tourism committee, the first tourism chairman, at the time when we passed the initial tax. What I felt was equitable then was that the restaurants needed to be included in that. And we had such a furor that that part of it died. But we eat out an awful lot in Guthrie. And there's a lot of people who are outside of Guthrie eating in our restaurants. I would gladly pay a cent sales tax, and it would probably raise more money than the hotel motel tax is raising. The kind of things that occurred were that some of our small they weren't restaurants, they were like Love's. took out their seating because we were going to base it on seats. Or someone suggested that we base it that way. They took out their seats, and you couldn't sit if you bought food there. I just think that's an issue that needs to be addressed. A cent sales tax, even for Guthrie residents, is going to be a good investment. And I just think before you vote on raising the hotel motel tax, that you need to look long and hard at that. And base it simply on what they spend, not the number of seats in the place.
Thank you, Gary.
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to say, I think.
Would you mind
Gary,
stating your name?
Oh, James Long, 512 East Washington Avenue, Guthrie, Oklahoma. I'd just like to say, as I think that it's very important that our chamber and our CVB be able to have the funds to be able to go out there and advertise this, and I understand that they need even more money to do that. I think that we also need to, as a city, really pay attention to our citizens and what we have to offer, not only those coming in, but even our internal citizens, our citizens. And to do this type of tax in our hotel motel, I strongly agree with Gary in the fact that if we had a 1 cent tax and we looked at something more in the mode of a MAPS program for Guthrie, that we really had more to offer as we're doing those advertisings, more things for people to do, we would have even a better chance of even being able to bring those guests into our town and being able to really showcase our town. There's so many projects that we have. I mean, this meeting is unlike a lot of our city council meetings that we talk about we don't have any money or we've got so many things that we need to fix. So we don't have money for all those things that we need to do. So let's look at being able to put money into being able to really showcase our city. And let's put that burden on our city and not just those few people coming into town. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
James? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Michael Lemon from the Best Western. And I just had a couple questions about Mary saying that she was going to these events, like the bus thing, and you said that you spend $1,500 to be a member and to go to these things, and you go there and you say, hey, you should take a day trip to Guthrie. Well, that day trip, all those people that came for that day are not going to help this sales tax at all, this hotel tax at all, because they're not going to stay the night. They're going to make a day trip, and then they're going to go somewhere else and stay. So they're doing a lot to get things to Guthrie. I understand that, but is it just for the day, or is it for overnight? Because if they're just coming for the day, I think, the 1% restaurant tax would be.
I can answer that question, and that's how you start making relationships with these bus people, is a trip at a time. And then they have to like you, they have to trust you, and then they're going to go, hey, I want to come back, my next trip, I want to spend the night. Our bread and butter comes from sleeping in the beds. So we definitely are here to promote all the hotels and all of it, because that's how the money comes in. But from going to all these road shows and talking to our partners that we have. Oh, back here?
To the mic.
Oh, okay. The partners that we have in Oklahoma City have told me directly, you've got to start small. You have to start with relationships. When I go out to Charlotte, they said, you've got to meet everybody. You got to talk to them. You got to go out with them. You got to do all this stuff to form a relationship with them. Otherwise, you're not going to get them to come. And so I'm just doing what they're telling me to do, because Remington Park, the Cowboy Hall of Fame, they have tons of buses, and these guys are my mentors, and they're telling me what I need to do to get buses in town, because I've asked them. I said, hey, what do I got to do to get them here? And that's what they're telling me. You got to start with the day trips.
Okay.
So hope that explains.
And I hope that turns into something more, and that they will stay the night, and that, if this hotel tax is is something that it is for more people coming in, that we really see it off of that. Because a lot of our business is just people traveling up the highway, and they're coming in to stay the night. And when they come in to stay the night, they ask where a good place to eat is. We send them to town. They get gas. So if they come through and they notice the price is going up, and they can find that other room, that same room, 15 more minutes down the highway, and they can spend their money eating at a restaurant there and getting gas in their town, in Edmond or in Stillwater, then I can see that definitely affecting us. I just wanted to voice that.
Thank you. Any other comments? I'd like to echo what Ms. Wanda talked about, Ms. Calvert, the 3 questions for today's discussion, as it being the first workshop on this item, and I want to keep us on that the agenda item is to discuss an increase for hotel motel tax rate. We should not be introducing another tax topic at this time. The 3 questions that staff has for council and would like some answers for is, 1, do you want an increase? Would you like to tell us at what amount, and when would you like to have that election? So those are the 3 questions we would like to leave today with having a little bit of direction.
I don't know that I can answer number 1, which would answer to 2 and 3.
Sure.
I think I still have.
I got a lot of questions myself. Can I ask some questions now that they've asked their questions?
Sure.
Mary, for me, I have a disconnect a little bit. I appreciate that the proposal is aimed at taxing people that come into town, not our citizens. And we've heard some really good ideas here tonight. You said we're doing something right, and you guys have emphasized a couple times that we've spent as much money in 3 quarters this year as we spent last year. That sounds like we've earned as much money in 3 quarters. So I'm wondering, for me, the disconnect, you need more money. I don't see that. If you're getting more money, how are you needing more money? Can you explain that? Because that's a disconnect in my mind.
Well, I'll give you an example. Last year, with the monies we had no advertising money for Christmas. Okay, we were short last year of having any money to advertise for Christmas. I spent $800 for Christmas. This year, I've got $6,000 I can spend on advertising for Christmas. That's a huge difference because we have more money.
Well, I see you have more money, so why do you need more money? That's my question. You are getting more money, you're doing something right, you're earning more money, so why do you need more? That's my question.
So that we can promote more, so that we can do more things. If we want to stay right where we are, and if we just want to do what we're doing, which I don't have very much airtime on TV, we did no media at all last year. If we want to continue down that same path and do that, we can do it. That's not a problem. We can do it.
You're doing more.
The thing is, if we have more, we can bring more in. Why do you think why do you think we have the extra money this year? It's because of
That's what I'm saying. You've done something right, but why do you want to double the tax?
Well, because we want more money. Because we're going to have more. We'll have more money to fill the beds. We'll have more money for people to come in town to spend money. I mean, does that not make sense to?
Do you not understand my question?
Yeah, I do. We can promote Guthrie with more money.
You're getting more money. You're making more money because you're doing a good job.
Okay, but if there's no increase, we'll have exactly the same next year as what we have this year. Yeah, we have more because of what we've been able to do and how our promotions have gone, how our advertising has gone. We've got more people coming into Guthrie, right?
The economy's better, though, too.
Sure, the economy's better, too. Sure. It's a combination of both. I'm not saying it's just what we're doing, but it's definitely a combination of both. It's obvious by all the businesses that are moving into Guthrie, too.
Can I ask another question about, we're trying to find out when we want to hold an election on this. I would like to know why we're rushing on this. What's the big
There's no
question?
rush.
None.
Okay.
There's absolutely no rush.
I mean, we called this meeting tonight to hear about this stuff because at the last time we heard about it, it's like, we want to have the election next month. And we're like, put this on.
There's no rush.
Well, and I think that might, part of the discussion tonight, even from the public here, which is to some degree a bit shocking to hear, that we'd like to have a proposed sales tax increase, if you will. I think at some point this meeting may actually be predicating another meeting,
Exactly.
another workshop to discuss, not just the hotel motel sales tax, but something larger in scope. I think
That's where we
Mr.
need to
Long
go with it.
brought up a very good point, that maybe, obviously we can't discuss it past the agenda tonight, but maybe this predicates a even bigger discussion for, think a little broader scale here moving forward. So I would like to see us, as a council, at least approach that position.
I agree.
And look at alternate sources overall.
I agree with you.
I would like to note that, I think that it makes sense that we need some more money for promotions of Guthrie. It makes sense we need more money for park maintenance. However, this is the only tax that I know of that doesn't go through the OTC, the Oklahoma Tax Commission. It's one that we have to directly manage. What does that mean? Well, as you know, Serena, who is here for her second day, her name is littered throughout this. At least the manager's name is littered throughout this. She manages this with the help with Wanda and so on. The city has to manage this. I already found language in this that I'm a little worried about because on Section 9, it talks about how this money goes directly to the city manager, which doesn't make sense. It goes to the city of Guthrie, and it's supervised by the city manager, if that makes sense. So my point is that I think Serena needs to sit down with it, look it over, and we need the city manager, who is going to manage this thing, to make sure that she feels comfortable with this ordinance, that she probably has just gone through really quick. So we need more time. We can't rush this.
Did
It's a
Randall
vote-
do the language on that, Randall?
Actually, it's the same
language.
Just
same
been
ordinance
since-
and just change the percentage.
Since 1982, it's
She's going to highly manage this, so she needs to have her fingerprints in this, I think. The other thing, this is a vote of the people.
Right.
And so if we're going to go into this with, one, the public already here, I can see there's some criticism more than I even realize. But I think we all as counselors, came into this with different reasons why we wanted the money, different reasons where this was going to go, that until we get all our ducks in a line as a council and as a city, and the city feels like this is something they really want to do, it's a big waste of money to put this on the ballot. It's about $9,000, if I'm wrong, to put this on the ballot. To me, unless we really think this is something that we really want, we can't move forward with that. It makes 0 sense. We're going to waste $9,000 for a vote. We need to wait, and I think we should wait until probably even the summer before we would ever have a vote, because we need time if we do a vote. And I like the idea. They have some great ideas. Maybe we should have spread it out. Maybe the hotel tax is a lot less if we do that, and maybe you need to do an entertainment tax. It's kind of a, just how much money is this going to produce? Especially if we change this. And it totally radically changes this by changing from hotel motel to some other tax. We need a lot of time to be studying this and to really get our facts straight. I do agree we do need some more money for parks. We really struggle with parks. We're really struggling. I think promotions, we could promote for the train coming from Dallas to here. We could promote the train in Dallas. There's reasons to come to Guthrie. We just have to get those people saying, hey, well, that's great. I remember before I ran for city council, I met a guy on the street going, wow, this is wonderful. I would love to move here, right? There's just, people come here, they have a potential of moving here. That's great, and that's wonderful. But again, we need our ducks in a row before we even move forward on this at all. This is not going to be just our first meeting. We might have a second and a third and fourth meeting on this.
I think the key word is this is a workshop.
Yes.
It's a workshop. We've come here to listen. We haven't come here to rattle a saber or anything. We've come here to listen to what this community wants. So, time out. Time out. Pull the brakes a little bit here.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just John. I guess I need to come up.
We should have two.
Yeah, we should.
I'm still Elizabeth Hurd. I didn't say where I lived before, but I live on Lake Shore Drive, and the Parks Department does a great job with that. It's very nice to live there. I'm here as a citizen, and I'm confused because we're talking about sales tax, and we're talking about hotel motel tax added together is what visitors would pay and where that's going to be. I think what we need to ask ourselves, first of all, is what is the psychological factor of an increase due to the public, number one. Number two, how are the taxes that are currently coming in allocated? And then what special needs we have that are not being fulfilled, and how can we fulfill those needs? And we need to look at what an entertainment tax, whether it be hotel motel or sales tax or what that is, what is that going to go for, and what entertainment, arts, what specifically is needed, and where that money is going to be allocated. And then we just need to decide how we're going to assess that, and we need to figure out, do we really want to tax any citizens anymore? That's a scary thing right now. Our sales tax is at that point where everybody goes, anymore, and it's going to be double digit. 4 to 8% is a big jump. I'm not somebody who's against any tax automatically, but we need to really consider what we're going to need the money for and what's going to be the best for Guthrie in arts and entertainment, parks and recreation, and to manage the city of Guthrie so that it will become a better end destination for those people who appreciate arts, entertainment, parks, the things to do. And Gary mentioned something, the Pollard, that's an important revenue generating source. The art galleries are important revenue generating sources, and these things need to be supported and can't always bring in money. And we need to figure out exactly what we can do and what the ramifications of those taxes are and why they're not being supported with the taxes we are already being assessed now and why we need the increase. And that's not really happening for me yet. So that's what I think we need to address.
The hotel motel tax is really all that's on the agenda to talk about, and legally that's all we can talk about tonight. I mean, we've kind of had some other suggestions, and the other workshop ideas would have to be another workshop. But in answer to your question, the hotel motels tax as it exists today at 4% is specifically set out what it can be spent for, those two uses. And that's not proposed to be changed, at least I don't think it's been proposed to be changed.
So what are the two uses?
Tourism and convention development and park maintenance and operations. That's it.
Yes, sir.
So couldn't that be amended?
Vote of the people would have to amend it and take a vote of the people. This was the ballot title that was approved when the tax was approved, and it can't be changed unless the people change it.
Question was, can that be amended? And the answer is the vote of the people. Sorry, but want everybody out there not to hear something they didn't hear. So.
I'd just like to thank all the citizens for coming tonight, because your input means an awful lot to this city council, because there's some big decisions facing this city to grow it. And Mary Coffin's not up here just asking for money willy-nilly. I know how badly she wants the chamber to grow, to get the people here, to go to the Pollard, to go to eat dinner out, to spend the night here. It's very important that people come to Guthrie, but it's very important that people that live here can live with the decisions that are made by this city council. And we take it very, very serious, and believe me, before anything happens, we have a tremendous new leader here in Sarita Breland, and believe me, it'll be done right. And I just thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any other comments from the council? Okay.
My direction is, as what I've heard this evening, is to further place on an agenda a workshop regarding potential tax revenues, and I am hearing that I should not limit that to hotel and motel tax, that should be open to discussion for other items. Does that sound good for the council?
Can we open the discussion to changing the 2/3, 1/3 as well? Leave that on the
Have a workshop, you can.
Put that on the
anything you
table.
want. If you want to put it on there, you can discuss anything you want.
Because I think there's some merit to that as well.
Yes, sir.
But that takes a vote of the people.
I know, but we can discuss it that way.
All right, I'm going to adjourn this.
You can.
We're adjourned.
Thank you.